All right, welcome everybody to No Prize Podcast, also known as PPP. Welcome to another beautiful week of comics and nerd culture. I am Chitlins, Greens and Cornbread, and I am here with the anonymous, beautiful, and eloquently speaking Johnny the Machine Hughes. What's up, brother?
Hey man, how's it going?
Oh man, it's another freaking beautiful, hot summer. I heard that you guys have been having a little bit of heat issues over there.
Yeah. We had a couple of days where the thermostats were popping. Unfortunately, the thermometers were a little bit too red
Oh
for our
man,
likings.
your poor electricity bill, man.
Well, yeah, there's that as well, but that's down the line. Don't worry about electricity till winter.
Yeah, shucks, man. Well, look, man. I hope everybody's staying freaking cool and staying away from each other, man, because we're still dealing with stuff of COVID. Now we got monkeypox and everything. God bless the professor who's out there in the mean streets trying to get the real scoop on everything. Um, he's at a terrific con apparently.
He is
But
indeed.
yeah, God bless him. Hopefully he'll bring us back some goodies and some real insight into what's really going on in the streets. But in the meantime, we just came off of some an interesting week. Of course, the big thing was SDCC, the San Diego Comic Con, right?
Hmm.
And what a surprise! The biggest news coming out of San Diego Comic Con was not even the books, but the trailer for Wakanda, right? We didn't know how they were going to continue on without Chadwick Boseman, but it looks like they're ready to continue on in some white type of way or another. And everybody was very receptive to the trailer, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so the question to you, Johnny, is: did you see it, and what did you think about it?
What did I think of the trailer? Yeah, there's a lot going on. Um, I don't think it's quite. I didn't think it was clear cut who the next Panther was going to be. Um, I think it's. I think there's a lot of confusion around this film. The
Right.
fact you're throwing in a couple of guest stars that we've seen. I think there's at least two making an appearance in here. You've got a
Okay.
certain underwater dude kicking around, and of course you're going to have Riri Williams, which is going to lead somewhere down the line. But as for the Black Panther, I don't know, man. Maybe you know Chadwick was a great actor, absolutely, hands down, and fills the role. I'll say this, and I've said it before: Marvel's casting for their movies has been absolutely bang on.
Yes.
It hasn't you couldn't get better. Um, but to me, I don't know, man. T'Challa's the Black Panther. Yeah,
So to me,
Marvel are in a bit of a bind with this one. Do you recast the Black Panther or do you give the mantle to somebody else? And I just don't know where to go on that one. I really don't know. I think it's. I
you
hope they do
passed
it
the
well.
well. You this is your chance to pass the mental on to somebody else,
Yeah.
right? You experiment, right? Even though it's been absolutely horrendous trying to pass the mantle on to other superheroes inside the comics, you can
Hmm.
maybe this is where you get to see can you do it when there's actually a face to play it out,
Yeah.
right? They've tried to pass the Captain America join on to Sam, right? And it's
Mm,
been horrendous because people they just can't let it go, right? They know everybody knows who their Captain America is. You
yeah.
can't pass. It's been kind of difficult to pass on the mantle from Spider-Man because everybody knows that their Spider-Man is maybe a Peter Parker, right?
Andrew
Um,
Garfield, right? That's my that's 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 my Peter Parker.
that's your Peter Parker. All right, okay, all
Yeah.
right, all right. We're there. Even DC is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to pass their Wonder Woman and DC, or excuse me, their Wonder Woman and Superman freaking mantles on to somebody else.
Yeah.
And look, people are like, no, Diana is my Wonder Woman. Clark is my Superman. So and the the sales of the books has told them that this generation is not going to let it go. However, if you can do so successfully inside the movie franchises and pass it on to somebody else, then you got something else cooking, right? Because
Yeah, yeah. No,
right,
see where you come and go.
we were Chadwick Boseman, absolutely excellent Black Panther, right?
Excellent.
Absolutely excellent, right? His look, and let me get it straight. I understand it. A lot of people did not like the movie, period. Right? I'm talking
Well,
about the
that's
first Black Panther, period.
yeah. I'm one of those people. I thought the first movie. I thought, um, I thought the plot it was the same plot three times. You know, it's like T'Challa has to fight to become the king, gets it. Then he has to fight a challenger, loses it, and then he fights the challenger to get it back again. It's like three Rocky movies all rolled into one.
But
But you can't knock him.
yeah, I can't knock it. But irregardless of the gaps and the plot gaps, right, inside of the original Black Panther, you can never dismiss how it made people feel, right,
Yeah,
and
agreed. I'll
how
give you
it
that.
yeah it had it how it absolutely energized the Black community and let portions of the Black community come out
Hmm.
as nerd culture fans, right? All of a sudden, it wasn't something that you were going to beat it because you're like, white man, why are you watching? Like, no, man, freaking Marvel actually paid attention to the Black community for the first time, and it made you feel some type of way. And then what's interesting is after Black Panther, yeah, there's stickling parts of the other movies, right? That people kind of like, but they just didn't feel this way up until Endgame, right?
Hmm.
Endgame made people feel a kind of way. Great, right?
Yeah.
But even that did not make people feel as much or united feel as much as that original Black Panther movie, right? So for to see the trailer do the same thing and energize people again, right? And we're not just talking about in the Black community. I'm getting hints from the Latin community. They're getting
Hmm.
excited about this thing as well because this elements inside the trailer. Um, Look, this is going to be interesting to see, and I'll get into that after. But I want to hear more about like when you first saw the Black Panther community, Johnny, or excuse me,
Hmm.
not the not trailer, the movie, the first Black Panther movie. I want you to expound a little bit more, right? What did you feel, right? Because we got to remember, it was supposed to be for you, but it wasn't necessarily targeted at you.
Okay. It's a really good question. Um, I thought the movie, despite its plot points, had a lot of heart, and I would watch Chadwick in absolutely anything. He's such a great actor. I think there's too much CGI, but I could say that against every Marvel movie or every superhero movie. But I can see that there's a place for the Black Panther movie. I like what the Black Panther movie did by getting a different voice out there, by allowing others to have their voices that are not normally heard in the community, perhaps in the superhero community. Um, I just and it shows how well he's received um, in Endgame when he's the first hero back through the portal.
Mm,
Yeah, and Cap sees it, and it's just a genuine emotion between the two characters. I'd say I have a genuine liking and a love for T'Challa, played by Chadwick. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, I think they should. I think Black Panther movies need to be made, definitely, because it allows, as I said, other communities to have their voice, or their other groups to have their voice, and go on from there. Um, I kind of think, well, you know what, Chadwick was lightning in a bottle, man. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He's lightning in a bottle. You're not going to get that again, no matter what goes on. So yeah, there you go.
Right, right. So yeah. But you didn't. We talked about this before. You didn't. You thought there were several gaps and things that needed to be addressed, right?
Yeah, I think
So
story wise, I mean, I people talk to me about how forward thinking Black Panther is. and I guess to an extent he is. But when you get down to it, and this is a very naive, well, a simplistic look at it, it's a black guy taking a drug to get powers. That doesn't sound very sort of new age thinking to me. You know, and admittedly, Black Panther was created in the '60s and stuff. So what are they trying to say? Socially that black characters need drugs to move forward. I just I
Mm.
just think I think from a social point of view, I don't think the film, I don't think the origin, because the Taylor origins. I mean, Captain Marvel's origin was tailored slightly to make it fit. I don't understand why there's such a need to have the plant element used in Black Panther.
Good point. Very good point. Right, right. Okay, well, so going forward, so you said you've seen the trailer,
I
right?
have.
Yes. What did you think of the trailer, man? Did it freaking energize you at all? Did it freaking give
Um,
you hope, or did it like, eh?
Well, bearing in mind, I'm on a bit of a downer after the Thor movie, as we discussed last time. All right.
Right.
Um, there is a lot going on in the trailer. There is a lot. There's the introduction of new characters. There's the who's going to be the new Black Panther. Um, there is there are some really good shots in there that kind of make you think, "Ooh," you know.
Mm,
Are we talking specifics? If we're talking specifics, the first shot of Namor was like, "Woo!"
yeah.
Didn't expect that. Um,
Right. 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 Right.
and that gets me a little bit excited because Namor is, as every comic book fan knows, is the first mutant in the Marvel universe. So therefore, does that mean the X Men? Is this another nod that the X Men are just around the corner? Mm,
Could be. Could
excellent.
be. Could be.
Um, but I'm gonna hold my horses on it because I want to see how it plays out trailer wise, because obviously we're going to get more than one trailer. Um, no, I think I'll definitely be going to see to the pictures to see it. Um, my wife quite enjoyed the first um, Black Panther movie, so there's enough of us going there for that. So I'm quite hopeful that it'll be able to sort of deliver the same sort of emotion as you mentioned as the previous one. I'm not sure they can because for me the emotion came from Chadwick rather than the script.
Mm,
So if they don't get a good script, then you know, and then an actor who's not as great as Chadwick, then you're probably on a bit of a hiding to nothing. But we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
I predict that this is going to be another instance of they're going to pack a whole bunch of stuff into something that should have been a series.
That's a shout. I mean, they're not scared
Yeah.
about doing series, though, are they? I mean, they've got some series coming out, according to the news from San Diego. So you'd think they'd be able to analyze and say, well, hold on a second.
Right. Right.
What works as a series and what works as a movie.
Right. So my suggestion is that they get in, get out, right? Get people's interest in it, and then do a Agents of Wakanda series, right? Where you don't where that would be like, hey, they don't necessarily need a no, a T'Challa, right? You get
Mhm.
a T'Chama or whatever, T'Chaka, Hijkl, maybe M or whatever son that they're going to use, right? Um, and put Shuri and the Queen as the head, right? And then you don't even have to focus on Wakanda anymore, right? You don't have to
Yeah,
focus on the big uh outfits and the big freaking designs and
yeah.
area designs and all that. You just do an Agents of Wakanda where they're going into like New York or New Jersey and they're doing their thing over there and they're spying over there. And no, they can just do a little bit of lab work, a little science work, just do some offshoot stuff where they're spying on like Riri or a Moon Girl or
Hmm.
a Fantastic Four guy, or Mr. Fantastic. Do some
Yeah.
right there, right? And then and the reason why I say that has to be because because if you remember from the first Black Panther movie, the big thing at the end was that they were going to do an outreach program. Right?
Hmm.
That outreach program means that they were no longer be isolationists. Inside the current Black Panther movie, there is a tribe that wanted them to stay isolationist.
Hmm.
That Tribe is where Tosin comes from, which is like the big Black Panther character. He's like some kid who's
Hmm.
apparently supposed to eventually take over the Black Panther, mantle as the
Hmm.
protector of Wakanda. Right, so you can slip him in that way and get people back to actually reading the comics, which is something that hasn't happened for a while. Where people are, I think it's like what is Black Panther at, like issue number 7, and people are still actually reading it, which
Well,
is shocking, right?
it doesn't help that they've been all over the place with it. When sending him to space and he's got a place on the Avengers, and it doesn't seem to tally up particularly well.
Right,
But,
and that's a good point, right? The current character that we have in the comics as Black Panther is not the original T'Challa,
mm,
right? People forget that. Like he's just still out there fucking somewhere. Whereas the guy that we have now, he was born out in freaking space somewhere, and then he just woke up, and people are telling, "Hey man, you're T'Challa," and he's like, "No, my name is just T'Challa. I'm not the actual guy you're looking for." He told him that a while ago. Now he's
mm,
just kind of filling in as the freaking thing. It's a weird way, and even Storm hasn't recognized that. Hey, that's not your original T'Challa, Storm.
yeah.
Um, you're a little weird, but okay, fine. Um,
Well, any part in a storm, as they
yeah,
say.
like, all right. Okay. So look, I mean, I would like them to bring that up again, but no, that is what it is. But hey, I do like the fact that the trailer got people's blood going again.
Mhm,
Really freaking great news. They completely overshadowed the DC, right? Well, because they had Dwayne Johnson freaking show up on DC side. But it didn't hurt that DC couldn't bring anything else up movie wise because with their issues with Ezra Miller and Amber Heard and all that. So it
yeah.
was their show to freaking take over, man. So
I mean, this isn't the forum, but DC have a couple of animation movies coming out, so and of course Marvel have the next Marvel Spider Verse stuff as well. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
right,
no, I
yeah,
agree that I agree the show was Marvel's absolutely.
yeah. DC. Look, DC's got. I started watching a bunch of their animation stuff, and it's absolutely amazing, good stuff. But you
Hmm.
know what? Right now, nobody cares about. Nobody really cares about
True
DC, right?
that. True that.
It's like, you know, so DC they need a win. They need a Black Panther win, right? And to energize the rest of the community. Right? A little bit of greens. I did want to let people know that if you go to your comic book shop and you are looking for any of this stuff, and I'm talking about Edge of Spider Verse 1, the Bengal, or the Scotty Young variant for Edge of Spider Verse number 1, you might not find it because there are allocation issues. There's a huge shortage right now because of paper issues. We've known this for the last month or two that this might happen. In fact, these were already delayed. So they say, okay, we're going to delay it to this. And
Mm,
now that the date's already here, there's still going to be some shortage issues. So if you see it and you want it, don't think that you're going to find it later on the shelf. Just freeball it. Grab it now.
mm,
That one and the X-Men 92 House of 92, blah blah blah. Yeah, that one's out there as well. It's going to be having a shortage as well. SDC. Or, what did you think of the SDC news, man?
which bit? There's loads of it. I mean,
There's uh,
you're talking Ant Man, you're talking Secret Invasion, you're talking Ironheart, Echo. Some of these things we knew were coming, but to see them all kind of timelined out like that, I'm I'm impressed. I'm not sure we need a second season of Loki um, at all.
right, 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 right.
Uh, I don't know who's that for, but
So from what I
interested to
heard,
see Blade back.
right. So from what I heard is that at SDCC, you know how you usually see a bunch of young girls trying to dress as Harley Quinn.
Uh huh.
Apparently Loki, the female Loki, was the thing, right? So,
Right.
look, if you got a young audience and they're interested in that type of character, you gotta freaking give it to them, right? So, I think that's okay, right? But the thing is, at this point, we're not interested in Loki. We're more interested in Kang, right? And what's going on with Kang. So this probably should be Kang season one. Right? This is Loki season two. You know,
Yeah. Yes.
um, Guardians of the Galaxy. That probably shouldn't be Guardians of the Galaxy. That probably should be Nova, right?
Well,
That's what we're interested in.
is it Nova or is it Adam Warlock? Because I've looked at the Guardians trailer and I thought that's Adam Warlock more than Nova.
Could be. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if it's Warlock or something, but at this point, I'm Guardians of the Galaxy out. Right? I'm burnt out on those guys, right? As a titular movie, to me, they should be like the support guys, the guys that just come in, save the day, they back up and everything. But I don't need any more until we get more stories about like what's going on with like Hercules and Zeus and everything. I don't need any more movies about Peter Quill and Gamora and Raccoon. Yeah, I'm burnt out. You know?
I'm not against that idea actually. I think that's a good shout. I think some characters work really well as auxiliary characters. And I think some characters work well as main characters. I think the humor of Guardians, the first Guardians movie still holds up now. I
Mm.
think the went back to the well with Guardians 2, and I don't think it was anywhere near as fun. Um, so I was kind of thinking, I don't understand why they're going back to the well again, especially when you need that. And this is the problem. Part of the problem with Thor 4 is you for the Guardians to work, you need a straight character to bounce them off. Like when I say straight, I mean like a straight man comedy guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas whereas Thor isn't. Thor's the funny guy. You can't have too many funny guys because it doesn't work. But
right, right,
yeah,
right, right.
but yeah, I agree with you that you know what. Let's let's take a break from all the humor quota, and let's get something going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's and to see him once again, like you said, man, just to see him so close like this, so Echo, people never really asked for Echo, right? And it's gonna be spurious because the Echo that we know in the comics right now is not the same one that she was originally born or created. Right, it's a
Okay.
totally different one. They killed off her mom in a different way. They killed off her dad in a different way. So her dad is not her dad. Her mom is not her mom anymore.
Well, you all know how much I love when they change stuff around for no reason.
Yeah. So unless they go that route and rigging explain that and rigging movies or some type of TV series, I am not whatsoever interested. Um, the Marvels, like we already know what's going on with the Marvels. I just want to see Carol Danvers just sit down for a minute. You know, just go away, sit down for a minute. The Blade movie, that's going to be interesting because it seems like the way they're building it up, it's going to be a handover moment, right? Because
Hmm.
what is it? The daughter from the African American Wonder Years, is going to play Blade's daughter in that joint. She was just created a few months ago, and but she's going to be in that movie already. Riri Ironheart, that should have been out, right? After they done
Well,
killed Tony Stark, that should have been out already.
isn't she getting introduced in the new Black Panther movie?
Yes,
So
right. But it's been so far since we've had Iron Man. Um, People were gonna like miss that whole thing. So maybe if we had like you know what they probably should have did. They should have stuck her in one of the Peter Parker movies, right?
right,
So that movie where it was the whole thing of, oh, he turned over the technology to you, and there was a whole big fight. Yeah, she should have been in that movie.
yeah, that's a
You
call.
know, the because that's literally she didn't grab the technology, but she basically rewired or I forget what you call it. Second guess that reverse engineered that technology. Um, she should have been in there watching what the heck was going on. Say, hey, I can freaking build that and freaking rebuild
Yeah,
it somehow. So, but now that whole connection between Tony Stark and her is lost. We haven't had the hologram yet, by the way, which is supposed to be the guiding monitoring her freaking life, right? We don't
Mm.
have that anymore, or we never had that. So I don't know, man. That's weird. Then you got Agatha. It's been so long since we had WandaVision. You
Well, I
know,
don't know. You had the One Division sequel in the Doctor Strange movie, right?
ah, right. That's true. But then we should have gotten some type of hint about Agatha coming along, in that movie at least, right?
Agreed. Absolutely.
Um, no, Daredevil's is an own starter, right? They can freaking jump off on its own. Captain America, New World Order, is that? I wonder what that's going to be, right? Because there was the one Captain America where he was like a bad Captain America because of the cube and
Yeah.
everything. I wonder where if that's where they're going.
I don't know. I hope they do something decent with Sam because I think he is wasted. I didn't think there was a great portrayal in the Winter Soldier Falcon series. I
Mm,
thought it
oh,
that wouldn't that show wouldn't make me want to read or watch um, Captain America if it was Sam. Not because of any other reason other than the fact it just was poor. It was poor.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and you had like a whole bunch of episodes to freaking flesh it out and do whatever you want, and what actually made it onto the screen was just mid. Like I don't know
yeah.
what direction was going on. Maybe they brought out some villains that nobody was really familiar with and nobody cared about. And I was like, yeah,
Do you know what the problem? Part of the problem for me is I don't know about you, but there
mm,
seems to be a core group of actors that work for Marvel and Disney, and they keep popping up all the time. Like
yes,
the bad girl in Winter Soldier was in Star Wars Rogue One, and then she's in something else. And as soon as I spot her, because she's so unique, I'm like, that's it. My sense of disbelief is just being destroyed because this one person is playing all these three different characters. I'm like, Christ's sake, find somebody else. It's like
right,
the Poor Dameron effect in Moon
right,
Knight, right? It's Poor
yeah,
Dameron.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. So there is three main representative office, right? Lawyer or agent offices, right?
Okay.
Representation offices, right? Um, and those three, they work very hard to make sure that their talent is not only gets a main contract with whether it be Marvel or whether it be DC, but they also get producer rights along with that freaking thing, right?
Okay.
So DC, I forget who DC works with, but the one that DC works with, they also own um like certain media outlets, right? So
Right.
if you've ever so if you're ever sitting down and you're reading an article, pay very attention to who that article and who the sources are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that is most likely owned eventually by the same company that pays DC or and pays and pays that company and pays the whoever's making the freaking movie. And the same thing is for Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the whole thing about the Black Widow thing came out, uh, it was the it was the company that owned all the stuff for DC that was putting all that stuff leaked out about what was the problems with Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson, and they had a very interesting interest in making sure that all the bad stuff got out, right? Um, because they were interested not only Black Scarlett Johansson but her friends, so they're putting out a whole bunch of bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Johnny Depp, right? The ones that were first up right and putting all the bad stuff about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, yeah, they had a very interesting interest in making sure that hey, he gets away from what's going on with DC, and they were trying to get him for some Marvel stuff. So it's a very interesting Game of Thrones that they got going over there, man. And then the last announcement that went out was about the Avengers, the King Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. Um, I don't know what to think about this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm kind of on the fence. I really am. I'm thinking don't cheapen what Infinity War and Endgame did by coming out with this whole ooh, it's time travel. Ooh. and I just which is Kang all over. Um, Secret Wars. I don't know. Is it gonna be like Secret Wars, the most recent series where they're on a battle world and they're all separated and the kind of alternate each area of the world is controlled by a different kind of alternate reality. Or is it
Hmm.
the original Secret Wars where just everyone's together and they're just fighting for no good reason? I don't know which one it's going to be.
Right.
Um,
Now, was it the first Secret Wars or the second Secret Wars where they brought in Venom?
First one, the first costume made his first appearance because,
Okay.
but then what I will say is this: this is just my two pence worth on this, or 2 cents worth, depending if you're American. By going back to the well for the Avengers movies, whether it be the Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, are Marvel actually turning around and saying now that their movie franchise isn't as great without the Avengers? They can keep doing eternal movies till the cows come home. They're not going to drag in the audiences that having the Avengers would.
Mm. They absolutely are, right? Because everybody knows the Avengers. They know that people aren't quite yet ready to, hop on a train with these second tier teams, right?
Second tier,
Yeah, like
second, third tier.
third tier. They're in the last year or two they've been trying to push the
Yeah.
defenders, defenders. We've had like 3 volumes of defenders, but since the pandemic, god damn it. The champions. They tried to do the champions, the champions, the champions. God sake, they even tried to try it out with the power pack. For God's sake.
Hey,
Uh,
I like the original Champions comic book from the 70s. I like that book. I don't like the
yeah,
current one, admittedly, but you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, look, they, we had West Coast Avengers about 3 years ago,
Hmm.
but we're not ready to bring those guys back. So look, without a mission, without a North Star, people are not ready for all this other side mission stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um, they're trying to go for the youth movement, and they're trying to say, okay, we're going to sublet it with the TV series and everything. That way, when you arrive to the big screen, it has a more emotional impact. But they're not doing it the right way, right? They're not.
Hmm.
It's just not hitting right now. But and that's my reaction. But the problem is that they're also doing they're doing these big budget things along with the time with inflation is at an all-time high. People don't have the freaking money for it. People were,
Mm.
people. Hey, I mean, I gotta drive to the freaking movie theater, and then I gotta spend more money on it, man. Freaking, people are not about it right now. People are just basically trying to pay the bills right now. So,
Yeah.
it's I think it's just a bad luck time for Marvel. It's not that necessarily they had bad decisions all around. It's just bad luck that it's not panning out for them. But at least they didn't do like Netflix and raise everybody's prices on Disney Plus yet.
Well, you say that, but Diamond have raised the prices for us over here. So
Did they?
yeah, comic book.
Uh,
I've got to go to two comic book shops. One is using Diamond just for a few books, and then the back using all the exclusive distribution
yeah,
networks for the other books.
yeah,
Diamond have put the prices up, so there's a post coming out saying that of the books that they get from Diamond, there's going to be a price increase.
yeah.
So,
Well, yeah. So, so I have an account, and what I have noticed is that like, especially like the indies books,
hmm.
yeah, those prices, the percentages on those prices have gone down. Like, so your discount prices have gone down. So, and it's freaking ridiculous, right? So, that means I'm gonna have to raise the prices for any customers that actually want to buy it through me, and it freaking sucks, right? Because like, hey, if you're a big box freaking retailer, your discounts are pretty much safe,
Mm.
right? But you have to sell like $30,000 freaking comics in a week. Um, but if not, now you're freaking stuck, right? And
Mm.
I don't know what Diamond's trying to do. I don't know whether they're trying to kill the comic book industry or they're just trying to get some money back or whatever. But I predict that some of these other publishers, worth once they notice that people aren't buying their books, No, they'll just start jumping to somewhere like Lunar, or they'll try and give an overture to Penguin to start distributing their
Mm.
books. But that's just my crazy theory. All right, so let's take a break,
Yep.
and then later we'll start talking about some of the books.
Hey, go get inside.
All right. That was the flip side, or excuse me, the TDC ad. Um, Great stuff, good stuff. So, um, you nominated
I
this
did.
week's Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, I did.
It was
Mm.
issue number 6, legacy number 900.
900. Woo!
Right.
Yeah.
This was a pretty big book. Right.
Well, was it? Was it really?
Well, I'll get to that. I'll get I'll get to that, right?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, people speculated this was going to be a pretty big book. But I'll share my feelings on it. I'll keep everybody in suspicion of what I felt about this book. After you go ahead and freaking what was your feelings on it, man? What is this book about?
Right, all right. So this is basically a celebration of Spider-Man. It's his 900 issues, and the question here is, who is Spider-Man? Not is Peter Parker Spider-Man, but what makes him tick? What makes him do the things that he does? That's the overall question. So what generally happens is the big bad guy has an Amazo style robot who absorbs the powers and abilities of the Sinister Six, and then goes after Spider-Man. It's written by Zeb Wells. Penciler is Ed McGuinness behind a fantastic John Romita Jr. cover. Inkers, and this is where the wheels start to fall off. You've got Mark Morales, Ed McGuinness, Wade Von Grawbadger, best name in comic books, and you've got Cliff Rathburn. Colors, you've got Marcio Menez, Dijo Lima, and Eric Niga. I'm probably said that wrong, sorry. VC's Joe Caramanga is on letters. Um, the problem with this book isn't actually this main issue. Well, it is. This issue is blah. It's a blah book. It's
Mhm.
just noise. Um, the problem with this book is the other 5 issues before it were fantastic. They were
Mm,
brilliant. They were really down, dirty. There was a great read. We were getting into it. This book, um, it starts off with a birthday party for Peter, but in the main continuity, he has no friends. So who's
yeah.
going to turn up? I don't understand it. Where do all these people come from?
Hmm.
Um, I did like the octopus arms. I thought the octopus arms were cute, and I did like the last panel where Felicia and Spidey are getting it on. But other than that, this is just noise. This is just blah 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 blah, and it's not that great. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ed McGuinness's art, most recent art, I should say. Um, but no, no, not at all. I'm so disappointed by this book. Um, Hopefully we get back on track next time around. But for me, this is just kind of like a throwaway book. It's like
Right.
you're buying it because it's part of your collection. You're not buying it to read and enjoy.
So I will say that no, you don't buy this freaking book. You don't buy this fucking book at all. From what you just said, you don't look not for 9.99.
Yeah, it's crazy.
$9.99. That's two tanks of gas over here. You know what I
it's
mean? That
crazy.
could, that I could drive for a good hour and a half on for the price of this damn book. For what? For nothing. Nothing changes in this freaking book, right?
Ah, yes.
It's bad enough that it's messing with the continuity of what's supposed to be going on in any type of main storyline. It's bad enough that you bring up these old freaking arch rivals or arch villains of Spider-Man. There's no new guys, right? I think the only thing new is that they bring back the whole Black Cat Spider-Man romance.
Hey, and we
Maybe,
don't mind that so much, do we?
but 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 if I wanted to spend money in that, why wouldn't I just buy some of the old stuff? Why is spending another $10 on that?
That's a shout. That is a shout.
There's a 1 in 500 cover for this one by Peach
Oh,
Momoko.
have you got a picture of said cover?
I can bring it up, and people do like it. But it's not worth if you think about it. Retailers at the most, I mean, they, once you get your discount from Penguin, which is about 50%, that's $5. $5 times 500, that's $2,500 for this freaking book. What in what world where a book nothing happens in the book would that be worth $2,500?
No. It,
And then
it,
at the end I think, oh, maybe there was a backup story. I was like, oh, maybe in the backup story something happens.
nope.
No, no,
Nope.
you know,
It, it's a terrible book. This book is everything that used to be wrong with Marvel, and they've just kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit because you think how well this book's been doing recently. I've put Amazing Spider-Man on my order on my pull list for the first time in absolutely decades. That's all right. It's a nice cover, but she's not even in it. So
oh man, and now that you made me think about it, it's like, yeah, what the oh jeez, that's insane. This is insane. Yes, they
You
have
might as
a
well, you might as well put
25.
Batman on there for all the good that'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a $2,500 book with
Featuring
a
a character
character
that.
that's not even inside the story. Oh my goodness.
Oh
See,
dear.
it's that's craziness. Craziness. It's 9.99 for this. And look, you hit all the freaking points. Absolutely freaking perfect. It's like, okay, they're doing this. He's got the support group. He's got people that he cares about. But then you got this mind brain guy and crazy ass story. Like nobody cares, man. No, nobody cares about this. In fact,
What
it,
should
it
I mean?
pisses
What
it,
should I mean? Sorry to interject. What should have happened? This should have been the. This should be the knuckle bared brawl against Tombstone. That's what this should have been. You don't need to bring in the old school characters to have a celebratory issue.
exactly.
This should have been that drawn out, let's battle and kick ass and stuff. But
How
instead,
about how
it's
about they
just
explain to us what happened that made him alienated from everybody else?
that's never going to happen for a while. Yes, you've got some time on that yet, my friend.
How about they close out the other storylines about the Morlocks that happened a
Again,
year ago, or
not going to
the
happen.
storyline about the death tablet or the life tablet. How about they close out those storylines? Right.
Not going to happen, man. Listen,
Very very disappointing. Very disappointing.
man,
I
I agree.
can't
I
believe.
agree.
I don't know. And it's even worse. It's more even disappointing and than infuriating that they want us to pay this much for absolutely nothing
Yeah.
happening in this freaking book. All right, let's move on before I start cussing. So you know, wild cards number one. I don't know if you ever got a chance to read this book. You probably
I,
looked at it and said, "No, there's no way, Lucas. Screw you, Lucas. I'm not reading this book." But I
no,
felt
I'm not that person. I looked at the book.
he
I
said,
have
"Look at
no
this
idea what the hell's going on, but
bullets. He said, Look at
I
this
looked at the book.
bullets." So set after the war, after a couple different wars. So let me pull this back. Right, this one was conceptually written by George R. Martin,
Hmm.
the writer of fantasy books. The not the Lord of the Rings, but Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Right, there you go, Game of Thrones. Right. Instead of us talking about dragons and royal incest and everything, he decided to go a different way with this one. Right. And in this world, there's a race of aliens that may be related to humans, and there's a disease out there. They decided to test the humans out there, and it's a whole row of books, right? In fact,
Wait,
um,
wait, 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 wait.
yes,
So there's a race of aliens
because of the
who
Sanis,
who want to test aliens with a disease, or you could say mutation.
right,
Right. Okay.
right,
So basically, saying this is the Eternals again, right?
yes, yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's
Oh my
exactly what
god.
I was thinking. I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, okay." So no, the main reason why I wanted this to be reviewed and talked about is because back in 2011, this was actually optioned to be done on Hulu, right? And
Okay.
then something happened, and then people forgot about this and everything. Well, now they're bringing it back up, and I was like, okay, well, let's take a look at what else George R. Martin can do, and look, the whole stuff about the aliens and the disease, absolutely bollocks. And if I can borrow a UK term, absolutely freaking bucks. What? No, don't do that. This is stupid. But you know what did get me was I forget the name of Cornell. Right,
Uh-huh.
Cornell was the writer. In fact, let me give the shout out to the proper people. Writer written by Paul Cornell, penciled by Mark Hawthorne, inked by Adriano Benedetto, colorist Ruth Redmond, letterers by VC's Corey Petit, who is a very busy man, cover art by Steve Morris, and several other cover artists, LaRocca, Delgado, Lashley, Juan Fernandez. Adapted, this comic, however, was adapted from stories by Howard Waldrop and George R. Martin. All right. Um, and look, it's got its thing. Like, okay, let's grab in the fantasy writers, I mean the fantasy readers and everything with some books about freaking aliens and a disease that could kill everybody. But you could tell I don't know who did this, whether it was Paul Cornell or whether it was George R. Martin that put in this little bit about the little romance thing. So they're in it. They've got the soldier. Actually, he was a pilot,
Mhm.
a war decorated pilot who comes home. And throughout the war, in fact, he was actually in a few wars, couple wars, right? He comes home and he's been pining over this girl, and he's while he's out at the war, he's grabbing trophies for her. He's like, man, as soon as I get this girl, I'm gonna bring this home to Susie, and we're gonna fall in love and yada yada yada. He survives the war. He comes home, finds her at her house. By the way, guys, don't do that. Don't be just showing up at a girl's house. You know, the heartbreak you make will be your own, right? Um, he shows up at her house and she invites him in and everything. And she says, "Oh, hey, that's great. However, I got another gentleman caller freaking fixing to stop by in a couple minutes. Don't mess this up for me. Get the hell out, right?" You can just see the heartbreak in dude's eyes and shit, right? And that's the best part about this freaking story right here. That's cool, right? Got it. That's where this should have started, right? And then eventually, delves into the whole aliens and everything, because like I don't, I'm not ready for aliens yet, man. You know, get me into the human. What George R. Martin usually does best is he does a world build scenario, right? Where
Mm,
he says, "Hey, there's these guys over here, then there's these guys over here, and then here's the conflict between the two of them, and this is where the world meets and everything." He
mhm,
just said, "Hey, here's some aliens. Here's a guy over here. No, everybody's getting ready to freaking destroy the humans. Boom, done. Next issue." Like, oh, hold up. um, slow, hold up, roll that back, man. I don't. But in the meantime, we get several pages of the conflict with the military. I don't care about the, an interrogation.
mm.
Um, no, I don't care about the interrogation. Right? You said,
Right.
hey, you said at one point the alien made the dude stand up on the freaking table butt naked. Show me that. Don't tell me. Show it to me. All right. I paid $5 for this freaking book, right? Show me what the fuck is going on, right? If I want to just read about it, then I'll just buy the original fucking novel. Excuse my language, right?
You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong.
Fucking show me, don't tell me.
Show
That's
me
what.
the nakedness.
Yeah, no, look, this is 2022. We threw the prudence out the freaking door, right? Because
Oh yeah.
we want to see what we're paying for. That's where this went wrong. So, can you tell me without cussing as much as I did what you thought about this book?
Um, I think I kind of already did. It, I know George R. Martin's got a whole host of fans. Um, I'm not a Game of Thrones fan at all. And to make matters worse, um, I'm not a big Paul Cornell fan either. I've read his stuff when he was over on Dynamite doing some vampy stuff,
Mm,
and it just did not sit with me at all. Um, Book wise, I like that Marvel are trying to do something a little bit different, and this would kind of be maybe like a mature book for DC. Might be a little bit vertigo. The problem is it's a timing thing. Last week we talked about the Eternals book,
mm,
and this has similar ideas in it. And yes, I know one became before the other one. I get that. I'm not having a go. I'm not saying anyone's copying off the other or anything like that. What I'm saying is, do I need two books in 2 weeks about aliens testing the human race? I don't think I do, personally. Um,
yeah, absolutely not. No,
art wise, it looks like an independent book. It looks like a Dynamite book.
exactly.
It doesn't read like a Marvel book.
I had to check two or three times to make sure. Like,
Yeah,
wait, this is Marvel?
yeah.
What?
So I'm kind of a bit of a loose end because it's trying to be one thing, but then failing at that, and then going on an idea that I've already seen a few times. Yeah, I'm a little bit like, what the hell's going on? Not just story wise, but what the hell's going on with the idea of putting it out? But I suppose the saving grace of this is that it's only 4 issues,
Mm,
right? It's only a 4 issue miniseries, so um you're not going to get bought into a full ongoing series. But still, I personally don't have the money to go out and buy a book like this if I've got the rest of my stuff to buy. Especially now that I have to buy Amazing Bloody Spider Man.
$9.99 for Amazing Spider-Man. four
but
ninety nine for this.
but the problem is, Amazing Spider Man's on the pull list, and I refuse to take it off because that means my comic book shop gets stuck with it. Um,
Mm,
one of the things I do quite a lot is it because I review comics for Comic Crusaders. Then if I see a book that's terrible, 9 times out of 10 I still have to pick it up because my comic book shop's ordered it in. I
yep.
don't want them to lose money, so I very rarely dodge bullets like that, unfortunately. Boo. But no,
Oh
I
man.
would give this. I would give this a wide berth. So,
If you are a George R.R. fan, go ahead and grab this book. If
uh,
you are a speculator on whether Hulu or some other joint will be able to pick this up, go ahead and pick this up. But if you're looking for a good read, stay away from this freaking book, man. Freaking send Marvel a message. They should have just let like Image or Dynamite or one of the other lower joints freaking go ahead and take this one.
unless Marvel's bought the rights for it and they themselves will be looking to do a TV show down the line. But
Yeah, that's what scares me, man. Because, and normally I would say no, just not in their lane. But along with the rumors about them possibly buying the Doctor Who franchise, I'm like, I don't know. If they're doing that, then this may be a thing. I could definitely see that.
mm.
So I don't know. All right, let's close it out. Let's do
It's time
some
for the 2 minute warning.
2 minute warning with 4 minutes to
Woo.
go.
Yeah.
This is stuff that is on FOC. That means talk to your LCS that, hey, I want these books. There's a Rod Rosino and a Lozano. I like the one on the. I actually like both, but the one that's going to be fire is the one on the right, the Lozano for the Moonlight, Black, White, and Blood. Iron Fist. It's a continuation of him being a sword master, but as you can see on the one in the right, looks like that sword is coming back together. So
Mm.
I don't know whether that's going to be a return to him as a sword master. This one is the second print for Star Wars: The Mandalorian, the photo variant.
That is the way.
People have been loving these Choose Your Destiny variants. One on the left and the one on the right is a Terry Dodson.
Mm.
The ladies have been loving the whole bare chested movement out of the comics. So they will love Gambit 2. They may be too afraid to go ahead and buy at the
Mm.
local comic book shop, but they've been loving it. Marvel Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts. I love the one in the middle, which is a David Nakayama. But the
Oh
one in the
yeah, yeah.
top, yeah, the one on the top left, that's the incentive, which I believe is like 150.
Mm. The one in the middle has John Romita um, vibes,
Mm-hmm.
especially the
Yeah,
Hawkeye bit.
right. So as we're speculating on the Thunderbolts movie and who will be in it and everything, this is something considered. There's been several Thunderbolt teams out there.
Hmm.
Um, so it should be interesting. Look, if you look at who's in this particular picture, you have at least three characters that are already in the MCU in
Mm.
this one. So you know,
It's funny. There's a character called Power Girl, not the Power Girl that you're thinking of when I say that, but
mm,
she was in the Deathstroke book for a while, and her uniform is pretty similar to Monica's there. And
really,
I had to double, I had to
it is a
double,
double take.
I had to double clutch. I was like, eh? And whilst you're talking, I'll see if I can find it. Um,
Thunderbolts. This is Thunderbolts. Marvel Tales number one.
mhm.
The variants. There's a Phil Noto and a Cola variant. Right. I don't know how you've been feeling about this one, but you know what? I don't hate it at all. More
Um,
Jessica.
no,
Or
I like the book. I think it's a clever. There's a clever premise, and it's done. Um, it's done in a kind of downbeat manner as you'd expect from um, from Jessica, definitely. So if you just there we are. In fact, let me just open that. Yeah. So yeah, I quite like it. I quite like the idea. Um, Depends how far we go because it could go like really downhill suddenly, quickly. But yeah, it's Gail Simone, so I'm kind of all right with that.
mm,
I'm kind of all right with that.
I just can't wait till she actually makes it to the MCU. That'll be fun.
Yep, I found that picture of the character here.
Right? Can
If
you
you're
can you share your
interested,
screen?
yeah, I must. Can I share my screen? Of course, I can share my
Hey, not everybody
screen.
is as technologically savvy as the machine.
All right,
Okay.
cool. Boom. Where are we at? So.
Okay,
There
okay,
you
okay.
go. Does that not look like Monica?
She looks roughed and stuffed with her afro puffs. Hey!
Oh, there you go. Cool. There you
Yes,
go.
yes, yes. She definitely looks like. Let me bring that one back up. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Crazy.
So there's
Crazy.
some absolutely some rule out there that says everything must be body tight.
Mm,
Uh, and if you want to give some variation, you can give them a coat or something like that. A jacket or something like that. But otherwise, everything must be body tight, latex or leather. That's your only options out there, right? Despite what every soldier on the battlefield currently on the battlefield is wearing, everybody has to fight in a body freaking suit.
mm.
You know.
I am all right with that.
you know and I get it, right? Like gymnasts, they fighting those little skimpy joints, right? And that freaking goes way up there freaking wahoo, and I get it. But the characters that they got wearing those types of outfits, they're not doing like look, She-Hulk, right? She's got a gymnast outfit on,
Yeah, yeah.
but She-Hulk, she's not doing any flips or spinning around bars or anything, right? She's
Yeah.
just freaking her whole thing is She-Hulk smash. All right. uh, it's crazy, but let me keep going. Wild Cards 2.
Mm.
All right.
Mm.
All right, coming soon this week. Iron Man number 22. I love. Did one in the middle.
Yeah,
Um, Speculators have been raising their eyebrows for the whole black cover because usually, when it comes to trying to get a perfect 9/8 grading, the black covers are the worst, right? You always
yeah.
get some type of color break, right? So, if you
And the
see
whole
one,
fingerprints, the whole fingerprints really well.
yeah.
If you ever want somebody to do a fingerprint test, get them to pick up a black cover comic.
Like, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and each and every one of these fucking covers are absolutely perfect. I love the Predator one. I love the Alex Ross one. Each and one of these are absolutely freaking
I've got to
beautiful.
say, I quite like the Predator one. I'm not a Predator fan in any stretch of the imagination, so that's quite a surprise for me. But yeah, I
Yeah.
like the Predator one. Predator one's cool.
Edge of Spider Verse number one. I said before that one's going to be allocated. That's Scotty Young, and then the one in the top right, that's the Bengal. That's going to be allocated as well.
I don't understand what the premise is with this whole dinosaur movement. The DC did it with the Jurassic League, and now we've got Spider X. I'm done with it, man. Jurassic Park, the last movie, sucked. Stop it.
Well, maybe that's what they were writing off. They were thinking that the Jurassic movie was going to be uh,
Huge.
huge, right? It was going to be fun and everything, and then they and then it missed. Nobody cares about people. I've already forgotten that the Jurassic movie was a thing
Yeah.
already. But you know what? People have been missing out is the Minions movie, right? So
Mm.
they probably needed more like chibi stuff, more cute stuff. People have been ready for that, which is where Scotty Young stuff hits. Right. So,
Yeah. Shouting.
is that it? Yep, that is all the Iron Man stuff that I wanted to call out this week.
Cool. There you go.
All the Marvel stuff that I wanted to call out, yeah, call out this week.
It makes me laugh when you said our 2 minute warning between we've got 4 minutes to go. It makes me laugh because you know I love football. The 2 minute warning never lasts 2 minutes.
It's a half an hour, man.
Yeah,
Like you, because the worst thing is when your wife comes down. It's just how much longer is in the game. And you
yeah.
talk to her, you point at the TV screen, and you say, "Yeah, there's only 2 minutes to go," and she trusts you, and she goes away, and she comes back half an hour later, and she goes, "How much longer?" And you
And
go,
you got
"Oh, look,
a
yeah."
minute and
You
a
no,
half.
you go, yo, look. You go, look. There's only 15 seconds. There's only 15 seconds. She goes, "Okay," and then she comes back 5 minutes later. It is so
True,
good.
all true, all true.
Oh, like look, God bless your our life partners that have
Yeah,
agreed to pull up with our bullshit.
yeah.
You know,
Every
'cause-
time I watch a soccer game over here, my wife asks. She asks two questions. She goes, "Is this an important game?" And does it go to penalties? That's all. That's it. And if it goes to penalties, she said, "Can we not just watch it at the penalties then?" I'm like, "Well, There's about 2 hours to go before we get to that stage, but never mind.
Yeah. But you know, with the technology that we have nowadays, and this is a secret. This is the technology that we have nowadays, where you can watch it on your tablet or your phone. There's no
Uh-huh.
excuse to not go out and do whatever the missus wants us to do.
Exactly.
Right? You know, if we can, I can. Oh, you want me to take out the trash? All right. Well, I can literally just pull it on my phone and put in my earbuds and take out the fucking
Yeah.
trash and bill whatever. Right? But you know, it is important that they show us that they value our time and let us sit on the couch as couch potatoes, eat our fingers and mash, and our freaking drink our soda. That's bad for us. Just let us have some peace. All right. So there's a happy medium and a happy when it comes to
Yeah.
happy marriage, man.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well done.
So once again, yeah, take if you could take that into your lives as we peace out. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, hopefully with the professor to school us some new stuff.
Well,
You
I know
got
he's out. He's looking for commission off a certain artist that he's been looking for. So we maybe
okay.
might get to see that in its kind of flesh, digital flesh.
Okay. Well, you know, so he's at Terrific Con right now, and then the next week is ECC2 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Emerald City Con. E2C E2CC whatever the freaking RTD2 C3PO. I don't know whatever. You know, so that's happening. And I can't wait to freaking see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
Once again, we can. If you guys want to talk to us and tell us, hey, Megan, I saw this. You should talk about MPP. Absolutely, freaking send us some freaking messages. And we'll absolutely love to talk about that.
Mm.
But in the meantime, it was another fun freaking show. Freaking happy to freaking share with you. The machine, Hughes, holding me down. Thank you very much, sir.
You're
We
welcome,
are
sir.
out.
Adios.